What if pain is something that is not optional? I want to talk today about some of the struggles that we go through and why they are necessary for us to not only thrive, but to grow. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I just want to take some time out to look at this topic in a more in-depth way. We our program, and I think from birth, you're coming through and your struggles and you're learning and you're growing, that pain is something that we necessarily need to avoid. But I want to talk today about why it is necessary for us to grow. So I'm gonna give you a story. There was a time when, back in one of my old past lives, that I did IT work for a good number of years, and I went to school, or before I went to school, actually, I had the skills. I did a lot of self-training to get into the IT field, so I knew what I was supposed to do. But I did not have those, quote unquote, the little paper that says, okay, I went through some kind of official training to do that. Eventually, I did get the paper, the certificates and things that I needed, but again, it was still difficult for me to get into the IT field. There was a lot of rejection. There were a lot of failed promises that people said that would help me, or they would provide a position for me in the organization for me to come in and work, and some of those things never happened. Now, it took about 5 years before I actually got an official IT job. But between me starting to say, okay, this is a career I want to get into, and me actually getting somebody or getting into position, it took that long. And between those times, there were a lot of no's, there were a lot of promises that were broken, and it was difficult. I'm not gonna lie, because you're saying this is something I want to do, this is something I can do. And then there's a lot of pain involved in getting a lot of rejection to get into the field that you're trying to get to. And it wasn't something that I would say it felt good, but I did not give up, because I knew I was capable of doing the work. I knew I was qualified to do the work, irrespective of all the other things that was going on. And that's how we need to look at our life in general. There is going to be pain. It is not something that you can just live in this world and not have happen to you. It's not optional. You're going to go through some pain, but what are you going to do when you're faced with these, the pain, when you're faced with these difficulties? Are you going to allow it to deter you and say, okay, well, it's not worth it because there's a lot of resistance, a lot of struggle? Or is it something that you're going to just push through to say it's worth it? Sometimes it looks like a dead end, but in order for you to get to where you need to get to, you need to sometimes make detours. Just go around what is in front of you right now and get to where you need to get to. So the goal does not change, but the route obviously can and does at some point. It could be, financial. It could be, relational, where it's somebody that that is preventing you, be it at work or personally, that's preventing you from achieving the goal that you want. And, some obstacles you can remove, some obstacles you cannot. And when you cannot, you make a detour around, because the goal doesn't change. And you go to where you need to go and handle it in the most. Now, the other thing to remember and realize is that the pain is part of the process. The pain is part of the life that we're living in right now. And you can either use it as something that deters you, or you can use it as something that fuels you and pushes you forward. Like I said, when I started out with the dream or the goal and to get into the IT industry, I didn't say, well, I met this roadblock and there was a lot of rejection, there's a lot of pain involved, I'm just gonna go find something else. It was fuel for me to keep going, because I knew in myself this is something that I could be doing. And it's the same thing if you're looking at your goal, if you're looking at something that you want to do, use it as fuel. Okay, they said no, that's a no for them. And that's a lost opportunity for them. But it doesn't mean that I need to change what I'm doing. It's just, okay, well, maybe that's not the area I should be, or that's the place I should be, and I can keep pressing on to wherever I need to go. We cannot allow the external circumstances to deter you from your internal goal. Your goal is something that was placed on your heart. And if God placed it on your heart, okay, this is where you need to go, this is where I want you to go. And then you're saying, okay, well, I can work with that. It looks good. I have the interest, and I know I can be an asset to wherever the goal is pointing me to. And those that are, can't understand that, then you can just move on and leave them, right? Because you don't need to. It's one thing for obstacles to be around, the obstacles that come as a result. 'Cause naturally, you're gonna have obstacles when you have particularly high goals or high dreams that you want to achieve. But there is also the situation where you now contribute to that pain process, where you're accepting the external negativity. You're accepting the obstacles where people are trying to put to you, and you're saying, okay, well, this is all I can do. I can't do anymore. I'm limited in my capability, and I'm just going to stop. Don't do that. You have, if you have it and it's worthwhile, push past the pain, push past the rejection. And like I said before, pain is optional, because you can either say it's pain or you can use it as fuel. And if you choose to use it as fuel, you're going to do what is necessary, right? If you go to the gym and say, my goal is to put on 10 pounds of muscle, 10 pounds and lose some weight, you're going to have pain as a natural result of that, achieving that goal, right? Because in order for the muscle to grow, the body has to break down and micro tears have to happen in the muscle. And because of that, now you grow stronger as a result of the pain that happens temporarily. Okay? Pain is temporary. It's not permanent. But in order for you to see the gains and the gains that you want, you're going to have to go through some pain. In order for you to get to where you need to get to, there is going to be pain in your life, because not everybody is going to agree with your goal or want to see you achieve it. There are people who is going to actively try to deter you. But what do? Right? You have to have a faith in yourself, believe that you are created with a purpose, for a purpose. And because of that, you're going to push past what others are trying to deter you from. And again, like I said before, you can either accept the pain, or you can change it and say, this is fuel for me to keep going. This is evidence for me that I'm moving in the right direction. And because I am moving in the right direction, this is just more fuel for me to keep pressing past. Nothing worthwhile in this life is going to come pain-free. Nothing worthwhile in this life is going to be pain-free. And the quicker you understand or accept, we all accept this, I don't think the easier life gets, but the more tolerable it is. And you're able to move to a place where now the external circumstances, the external obstacles, the external difficulties are not that they're not that bad, right? So yes, I had a setback, but it's not something that keeps me from getting to my goal. I don't allow it to come into my being. I don't allow it to come into my mindset to now change me in the way that I am no longer able to be that person I know I can and should be. So just to recap, when you're feeling down or you have some deterrence for your goal, don't allow it to come in. Use it as fuel, right? Because we grow from our struggles. We grow from our difficulties, and we get stronger, right? You ever realize that once you're able to come over this struggle or this pain that you're going through in your life, the next one is a lot bigger. It's not the same one. You never meet the same one at the same level. The more you're able to overcome, the bigger they come, because you're growing stronger. So use them as fuel. Don't allow the pain to come in and deter you. Press on. I just want to take a minute to point out, if you guys want to get help with pushing past these goals and have a better mindset, I've created a 5-day challenge that you can sign up for. It's completely free. All you need to do is sign up, and it'll walk you through some things, some mindset shifts that you need to take on in order to move to these higher planes, to get those goals that you're really trying to achieve. And it'll help you. This is something that I created. I want to give to you guys as a gift. And all it takes is just to click the link below, and it's yours for free.